Yeah, I want to go over some of this silver garbage that's going on over the internet. I know every time silver goes down a little bit, everybody panics, and they're saying that JP Morgan's out there manipulating silver and it's going to go down to 22, 15, 19, whatever, 26 maybe. That might be possible, maybe get down that range, but that I don't even think is that likely. You know, I think actually Ben Bernanke is playing a scam in a lot of ways, in other ways besides QE, but also with his statements, and also how the news media cherry picks the statements coming from the Federal Reserve minutes meetings, the minutes of the Federal Reserve meeting at the FOMC. They cherry pick certain statements and they emphasize things, and then all of a sudden the markets move. That smells like manipulation. You can make money on the way down, you can make money on the way up. If something was staying in the range for 2 or 3% or 10% and it was bouncing up and down, and you knew which way the markets were going to move, yeah, you'd make a hell of a lot of money just as much if it went up double or triple, so as long as you know the direction. But we don't have that, we're not privy to that type of information. But I smell something up with this because I think Ben Bernanke, first off, he's not going to be able to end QE. That's bullshit. It's predicated upon a statement that, you know, unemployment gets down to 6.5%, inflation gets down to 2.5%, then, you know, they'll end QE. But that's not going to happen. I mean, who the hell's he kidding? But the same things are in place. The bond bubble is going to bust at one point in time. And actually, you know, some of the things that Bob Chapman said way back, I didn't really like listening to that guy too much. He was basically a BS thrower, but in my opinion. But some of the things I think are correct. In other words, the best minds can't calculate all the effects of all their manipulations. Unintended consequences come about. Something that Mark Faber talked about. And unintended consequences are going to come about. Something's going to happen, and it's something unexpected. So I think, you know, if you're in silver, don't sell the shit. Don't. Because I'm pretty damn certain some of the things they're doing right now is to try to unload the short position. And what could actually drive up the metal more than anything, like with gold too, is a war with Iran. Actually, when they don't talk about the war with Iran, that's when it may occur. And I think it's a given. That's going to be one thing that's going to come about, because some of the old conspiracy rumors out there that the elite go to war to divert attention away from them, divert attention away from domestic problems, then go to war to divert the public's mind away from other things. That's true. It's been around for centuries, so that just may very well happen. One of their big problems is that everybody's onto them, and there's a massive communication now that people think, and they actually put their thoughts out there and they alert other people to what's going on. That's become a problem to them, because now the media is actually in the hands of the public, more or less, through YouTube and things like that. But I would not sell silver now. I don't even think it's going to go down into 26. But I'm not Karnak the magician either, but I don't think it's going to go down to 26. I don't even know if it's going to go down much below 30. In other words, if there's figure this common sense out. If there's bad economic news that comes out regarding employment, PMI, manufacturing data, you know, what's going on in the agricultural industry or whatever, it's not going to be like, that's not going to stop QE. That's actually going to be more policy, more, you know, reason to have QE. And if the actual numbers are looking good for production and they're looking good for the economy and manufacturing, well, guess what? That's also bullish for the metals, because there's going to be more uses of them too. So I don't see it going down that much. I don't see it going down that much, if at all. But what could actually be the curveball is the war with Iran. That is something I don't think anybody knows. But the next time that could possibly happen is more likely going to be the spring of 2013, maybe towards the later spring in 2013. That's usually the time. That was the time they expected in 2012. It did not happen. But irregardless of what happens in silver, I want people to make sure that they fully understand another issue, that the Sandy Hook shooting does look like a setup. You know, I was wondering even about the 911 right from the beginning. And, you know, I told people about the Building 7 and all this garbage, and it's like in one ear and out the other ear. But that is actually less important than the gun control issue. The gun control issue actually is going to be worse, because when you give, a lot of times people in uniform go in a uniform like police and the military because they have an attitude. They're almost like the same reason they join a gang. There are a lot of people like that, believe it or not. And till you get caught in a situation, they got egos. They got bad egos, really bad egos, and they'll do a lot of rotten shit. And they get away with it too, because they cover up for each other left and right. And those are going to be the tools of the elite. They're going to be running over you. So it'll be worse than the Nazis. Worse than the Nazis. So just as a final ending to this silver update, which I'm going to say, stick with it, because it's like QE is not going to go away. That's bullshit. They were cherry picking statements out of the Federal Reserve. As a final statement to what the actual your overall freedom is going to be, not just with silver, hang on to your guns. And like, this is another good gun. This is an M1 Carbine. This is a folding stock version. It has a 30-round magazine. And also I want to point out that when you have this, these rounds, you're better off loading them yourself, because this weapon actually will jam. I don't like these weapons, but they don't jam if you take this round and you actually have it pushed in a little further into the brass than the stock round that you would buy. Then it doesn't jam. It works very well, so it's not a bad weapon. In the folding stock version, it's almost like a cross between a rifle and a pistol, which is pretty cool. It's still considered a rifle. Ain't 100% legal. So, but everything probably is going to be illegal and eventually, so that's going to be Nazi law, totalitarian law. And what are you going to do about that? You know what? You're going to have to fight back. That's really what it comes down to. You're going to have to fight back. So, silver isn't the be-all, end-all of everything. Actually, the most important thing in life is making sure you have a good weapon. Number one.